Okay, so I thought I'd just make a little update of a couple of the little things I've done so far before I get too far along and miss too many steps without giving you guys an update, showing you what I'm up to. First thing I did yesterday, got all the wheels and hubs separated. 4 wheels, 3 of them had these hubs with the little ratchet mechanisms inside them. Got them off. They actually came off a little bit easier than I thought. Used some good breakaway spray to get rid of the rust. Turns out once I got them off, undid the screws on the back and got them open, they're all quite free, so it's just a little bit of surface rust and a bit of moisture, I guess, holding them. So all 3 of those are functioning. Hopefully we can come up with a 4th one somewhere. One of the 3 is broken where the bolt goes through it. This one's a good one. So I've got 2 good and one that's got a broken hole. Maybe I can repair it if I ever come up with a 4th one and need to get a spare pair. But for now, 1 spare's better than none. Tyres are okay. Got to try and source some new ones, I think. If I can't source new ones, I'm going to have to pick the best 2 out of the 4 I've got. One's got cracks in the wall, another one's got a hole in it somewhere. Oh yeah, this is the one with the hole. Because they've got tubes in them, still be okay, but it'll look a lot better when it's finished and restored with brand new ones on, I think. So we'll see how we go there. As you can see here, I got the motor separated from the frame. First, to get that off, I had to take off the drive mechanism from this gearbox, I guess, for the PTO, down to the drive for the wheels. So I had to remove the outer cover first, which has the clutch lever and the little fork there that engages and disengages the clutch. Once I got that open, removed the clutch, which is this. Slides on the shaft here. When it's engaged, pushes into the slots which make it drive. Pulled out, obviously free wheels, the gear goes round and round, but the drive doesn't transfer lower down. This is the lower drive sprocket that the chain ran onto, and the axle runs through the frame, drive to the wheels from that. And this is the opposite bearing on the bottom of the frame that I took off as well. The internals of this chain ran around the top sprocket off the clutch down to the big one at the bottom, and the tensioner for the chain is just this bent steel. So it flexes and the spring pressure, I guess, pushes against the chains. Chain slides down here, keeps the chain tight. So I'm going to carry on with a little bit today, probably film a little bit, get this stuff out of the way, might bring the camera in closer. One thing I really want to do is get this gas tank off, get the outer engine shroud off to see if I can get closer to the flywheel, because there should be a number or a date stamped on that flywheel that will tell me the exact age of this machine. So I'll move this stuff out of the way and we'll have a go at this. So, gas tank came off easier than I thought. Obviously at some stage it's been off in the past, someone's lost one of the proper little what do you call those, toggles I guess, little screw together system, and just replaced it with a nut and bolt there. But it is what it is, and hey, she's a pretty old machine, so things did break in the past and had to be repaired with whatever was on hand. Gas tank, forgot to mention, had me a bit confused earlier. The top on this, you think you can twist it to open it and it doesn't come off. Clever little, needs an extra little push down, little safety mechanism in there that yeah, had me stumped for a little while. But it's got a bit of rust rattling around inside. We'll give that a flush out and a blowout, and hopefully it's not too bad. I can't see anything peeling off the inside in there rust wise, just some loose surface stuff, so we'll get that cleaned up. Be good to go again. Right, let's have a go at this this outer engine shroud. So as you can see, I've got a stubborn bolt in here. It's got a screwdriver head through it. Tried the impact on it. Yeah, it didn't work. I'm just going to give it a quick spray with some breakaway. Let it soak in for a little bit. Also look over and see if I can figure out what else is holding this on. Got a couple of screws through the back plate here, but there's also a joint, so I haven't had one of these apart before and seen much about them, so spray some stuff on there, let it soak in. I'll have a quick look over it and we'll come back soon. Okay, so I got it figured out. It only took a couple of minutes. And another hit with the impact gun. Once that breakaway soaked in there, this just came off really easy. Shouldn't have even worried about pausing the camera, but never mind. That's out of there. And I think this one, and there's another little bolt on the other side. Once I get these out, it looks like this whole cowl comes off in one piece with the backing plate, so we'll see what happens. Doesn't look original, looks like an extra different screw that had fallen out and I've put a different one back in. I don't know. That one out. Get the spark plug out. He's only in finger tight. Hey, might be onto something. Haha! Look at that. We'll undo the screws and we'll take that plate off and keep that somewhere safe. Put it back on once it's all repainted. Yeah, good shape. Not much rust, no dents. Come up really well. Put that aside for now. Okay. See if we can find any numbers. I don't even know where I'm looking. Ah, there we go. Look at that. I don't know if that's a timing mark. There's a little dot in there. There's a oil seeping onto here from somewhere. I don't know if that's normal. Try undoing some more nuts and bolts and see if we can get anywhere else. What I found so far stamped on the top of here is a number 96, a little arrow there, and when I turn this around I've got a punch mark in here and another arrow on here, so they are probably timing setting marks. Someone did tell me that the flywheel is not on a key, so to be careful when I go any deeper in here, because if it's just on a tapered shaft I could mess up the timing for the whole engine, but I guess these marks will help me put it back together when I need to. Probably wondering, mechanics and stuff watching, probably looking at how I'm doing things and how I'm going about things. I'm not a mechanic. I'm from a family of mechanics. All of my uncles and my grandfather were mechanics. This is just a hobby that I have. I drive trucks for a living. I'm a cabinet maker by trade. I've done some different interesting things in my life, but never been a mechanic and never had formal mechanics training. I work with limited tools with what I've got in my shed and what I can borrow from my dad's shed. So if you see me doing things and you're wondering why I'm using that for that job, or why I'm doing something that you'd do a different way, then this is just my way of doing it and making do with what I've got. So yeah, alright. I'm going to pause the camera now, undo a few of these bolts and see what I can find out about getting to this flywheel, or finding a date in here somewhere. It's got to be here somewhere. I just really want to know the exact age of this machine. So I had a good go at it. I've had these little nuts in here in between the cooling fan fins off. All that did was basically take away the ring of cooling fins. Didn't give me any access to anything else. Couldn't see anything on there. It's just the copper, I guess. I think it's copper. I don't know. Whatever that wheel's made of, probably copper. I've had a go at the nut through the middle of here on the pull start, but it doesn't want to budge. So I've got some spray on there at the moment. I don't want to give it too much pressure, or I've got to find a way to lock things up, and I don't want to do that just by jamming a screwdriver through the cooling fins. I don't want to break this. Probably be hard to come by. So I'm just going to leave that for now, let that soak in. Probably do some more research, do another little search up on the line, and it may even be a left-hand thread, I don't know. I could be trying to turn it in the wrong direction as well, so I've got to make sure I do it right, otherwise I'm going to break something. Just going to leave that for now and just move around to the other side here. Initially we thought the carburetor butterfly was jammed. Just been having a little bit of a play with it this morning, and it is free. There is movement there. Governor lever is moving as well. It's just quite sticky and sort of jams, so I'm going to take this off completely. Carburetor's got to be torn down and cleaned out on the inside anyway, so I'm going to leave the flywheel alone and do some stuff over here, probably spray up the nuts and even get this little muffler off out of the way as well. Just one step at a time, eh? So there's a screw in here between the governor linkage up to the carburetor linkage that just doesn't want to budge. Sprayed it, just going to let that soak in for a little while. Try and find some other tools that I might be able to get some other things undone out of the way, get the little banjo fittings from the fuel line out. Just make a bit more room to move and hopefully be able to free that screw up, because that could even be the problem that's jamming that. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to pause the camera now, probably going to have a coffee and a little bit of a think too. Think about what we're doing and just stare at it for a little while to come up with a plan and see if staring at it makes that screw come loose. It might. Think it's loose yet. Try it after a coffee. Oh, coffee's gone, and did a couple of other bits too. Managed to get the fitting undone off the side for the fuel line. Taking that off gave me a bit more room to play and move around. Got the gasket off the top through here, came out really easy. Looks like it's a homemade job there anyway. Little hole's been drilled around there to form the inside of it to make that gasket, so we'll look for a new one of those. Come up with a plan. Rather than undoing that screw, I'm going to try and get the whole governor lever off. I was able to twist the carburetor around and loosen off the bolt holding that in there, so pry that out of there, get the carb off, see what happens. Look at that. So there's the offender, just there. I'll have a go at loosening that off and getting that out now. We'll turn the camera off for the day, and I'll just strip this down, give it a clean up, and we'll see where we go next. Cool. Well, thanks for watching, and yeah, stay tuned. Subscribe, leave a comment if you've seen anything that interests you, or anything that I'm doing that you've done before that you can help me out with. Definitely leave me a comment. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, leave it at that. Hit the subscribe button, watch the next episode, and I'll do a few things off camera and bring you another update soon. Thanks.